Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Here is a video of a client of mine who hasn't had a haircut, obviously, for a little bit. He's growing it out for a couple of reasons. One of it because he's in school. The other one is just because, simple fact, he hasn't found a good barber. Number 3 is because he doesn't really know what type of style will go good for him. So we consulted, and the idea that I gave him was a low skin fade with the curls on the top. And the reason why I did that was because me as a barber, I have to understand that I'm a visionary, so I have to see things before it actually comes out. And you as a barber too, you have to kind of become accustomed to that. So what I do is I look at the weight, the height, the flavor, so to say, the swag on the person, and I kind of look at the dexterity of the hair and see which best fits them. So that's the reason why we consulted and we came up with the low skin fade with the flare out on the top. I'll explain later towards the end. So I took the number 2 with the cordless wall and I just erased the whole canvas. I took all that bulk out. You can see the form of what I'm talking about, the flare. After that, now I'm doing the skin line with the Babyliss FX gold trimmers. You see that? Some people work backwards. Some people work from the top to the bottom. Other people work the way that I'm doing it, from the bottom to the top. You just have to pick your poison, do what's best for you. But this is the best way for me. So I give myself an opportunity to skin that out, and you can see it that I don't go, because it's a low fade, I don't go no higher than the top of the ear. Now I'll have an open lever, no guard or no clip, however you want to use it, wall clippers. And what I'll do is I'll do a 1/2 inch difference from the Babyliss gold trimmers. You see? And when you do that, you got to make sure you flick out the wrist, especially for this type of hair texture. Boom. I know you can't see it because it's really bright. Still working on this editing stuff. Bear with me, be patient, they'll get better. So anyways, what I did now is I did a closed lever and I'm erasing the Babyliss Gold FX line. Like I said, you really can't see it now, but you'll see it later towards the end of the video. I'm erasing that line, boom. Talking and working. Some places where you'll go, they'll stop and talk for 45 minutes and not cut your hair. Over here, at Double Edge, you get to talk, have a good time, laugh, work. So here, what I did is I'm just, like I said, it's a closed lever and erasing the Babyliss Gold FX line. I usually like to go 1/4 inch from where that line is at. That gives me that nice blend. Here I take the 1 guard, which will make it a 1.5, and I'll take it a 1/2 inch higher or separation from the open lever line. You see that? Boom. And always flicking the wrist. I always have the custom of flicking the wrist, because especially with this haircut, because remember, you're going with the flare out. So if you go straight up, if you're not flicking your wrist, it becomes more of a box than anything. So I want to make sure that flare keeps coming out. Boom, you can start seeing that the haircut taking shape. I did fix the light, that's why you seen that rumble. Sorry for all those who got dizzy with that. You see? So now I take the 1/16 and I start hitting that 1 line, which is the open lever, no clip, no guard, however you say it, line. And in between the 1.5 line that I just did. You see it starting to take shape? You see? Boom. So that bottom piece right there, the dark spots is the line with the open lever. So now what I do is I just go open lever, close lever with the 1/16. That's what I'm using right now. When you close the lever with the 1/16, it'll actually get to the point where it'll take off the bulk or the darkness, however you want to say it, of the open lever line. See? So the 1/16 close and open will erase and blend in the 1.5 guard line and the open lever line. I'm gonna stop talking so you can enjoy some of the work here and me being lost. Here, some people like to take guards, some people like to take clips. I like to flick the wrist with the comb, especially with this type of haircut, because this gives me control of what I can do, you know, especially if I'm flaring it out. See, it's taking shape. So because I have the clipper over comb, I can put the comb, the position that I want the hair to go. And when you put the clipper on that comb, whatever hair is sticking out on that comb, that's what's gonna get cut. So that's why I have it at an angle. Boom. You see? Take that bulk out. And like I said, you know, it's your preference. You know, you might take a number 4 guard or a number 3 guard. Whatever floats your boat. You just gotta make sure that the quality is right. He's starting to take shape. Boom. See? Starting to like it. Starting to laugh. I don't know what we were talking about, but we must have had a good time. So now what I'm doing is I put the number 1 guard on there and I'm just detailing. You know, for those of you who are starting out in the barbering, detailing is just basically going over, you know, and just make it better. Let me put it that way. So even though I had the 1.5 before, I'm just going it over again and just making the blend more blurry. Some people may ask, well, because I know I asked it, well, why are you going over with the 1.5 if you already had the 1.5? Doesn't that waste time? It does if you look at it from that point of view. But if you're getting to the point where you are detailing your work, it doesn't really matter. Make sure, look, boom. Now I'm actually getting to the point where I'm picking it out, because what I want to do, I don't know if you do it, any other barber that's out there does it, but what I do is I make sure that I pick it out, because if he doesn't get the opportunity to get the curl activator gel and he wants to pick it out, that blend will still be there. So always pick it out and pick it out good, and then freehand it. What I do is I freehand it. So real quick story while you're watching this. I wasn't really good at this. When I first started in 2008, a gentleman came in and he had a bigger fro than this. Long story short, he wanted to get his hair cut, wanted to trim some off, and I botched it up. Like I destroyed it. And it wasn't like I left patches. It was just like I didn't pick it out enough. You know, I didn't know the techniques the way that I know now. You know, I didn't know that, you know, you can pick it out. You should pick it out once, and then, you know, even use hairspray, pick it out so that way it stays crisp, and then pick it out again, hairspray, pick it out again, and then trim it again. So anyways, this guy that I did it before when I first started, he was not happy, and so I apologize if you ever get to watch this. My bad, but I got a lot better. So here I'm just freehanding it. So for those of you who have never freehanded, we all start from somewhere. Your best bet is just to make sure that you start freehanding more when you're steady with your hands on a regular haircut. But if you're ever daring enough to do it, pick it out and just follow the form that you want. Here you can start seeing that the flare out is coming out. Take out the edges. Just check out the technique. See what you think. And see, I learned from my mistakes. I'm picking it out again just to make sure that it's even. Because remember, if he doesn't like the curls, he can always pick it out and it'll come right to that form. So he'll have basically 2 styles that he can rock. One with the curls if he wants to go out on Saturday night, and then pick it out if he wants to go to church the next day. Take your time. When you do freestyle, take your time. Looks like I'm going fast, but it's only because the speed is up. Okay. Little details, making sure they look good. All right, and like I said, the Babyliss Gold FX trimmers, I'm not using it because it's my go-tos for everybody. It's just my go-tos for this type of hair. His hair is really brittle. And because the Babyliss Gold FX trimmers are zero gap, it makes it easier. So like I said, with everything else, just like I said with the guidelines and so on and so forth, pick your poison. Pick whatever works best for you. Maybe the Babyliss FX is heavier for you. Right here, making my guideline. I'm not going too into it because I'm still going to sharpen it up with a razor. You know, take your time with this too. I like to keep the natural hairline. I don't like to take that stuff up. I understand it may look crispier for some people, but I don't like to do that. I like to make sure that when the hairline grows back, it's the natural hairline. When you take that junk back too far, you have the natural hairline growing and the line that you gave them growing at the same time. So I'm gonna stop talking for a little bit. You can enjoy. All right, y'all, so here we go. Here I'm finishing up the details, making sure that the lines are sharp. Just a reminder, make sure you go against the grain so that way, very carefully, so that way your lines are sharper. Pull the skin the opposite way. Here I brushed down on the C-cup because when I first started, I would get the C-cup sharp, but then never brush down and get the little hairs that were overlapping. Just a little tip. So here I just blending it in, just doesn't have to be intricate because this specific client wasn't gonna get a shape up and didn't want a hot shave or nothing like that. So I just blended it in so that way he didn't look like he was crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy looking out there. So right now I'm brushing it off. It's pretty much the finished product. Here I just get attention to detail. Remember, you don't have to be concerned too much with not going back and making sure that the lines are good for you, the blend is good for you. You'll see what I'm talking about. My philosophy is 80%, focus on getting the haircut done. The other 20%, at the end of the haircut, you go over the other details to make sure that it's fire. So here I put the curl activator gel on and I let it sit there for a little bit. Take the curl sponge and start twisting. Now, for every texture, it won't come out as curls all the time. Specifically for this one, because of my client's texture, it came out more as twisties than anything, but it still came out fire. I liked the way it came out, and he loved it, so we were both satisfied with it. Especially the way that he came in looking. So that's one of my joys right there. Hooking somebody up and leaving them with a smile on their face and just shocked. I didn't show you his face or reaction when he turned around and saw himself, but it was something that should have been on there. So remember, here I am making sure that the detail is done. I didn't like that way, the way it was kind of dark there, so I made sure that I went over it again little by little. Don't be afraid to go back. Like I said, 80%, enjoy it, get it right. But if you want to get it on point, then take the extra 20% before you let the client out the chair. So here it is, man, my first tutorial, low skin fade with twisties on the top. Hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe if you do. Joey, Life on the Edge. Peace. God bless.